सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ श्री गणेशाय नमः। ॐ श्री सरस्वत्यै नमः। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवं परमानन्दमाधवम्। सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्त गोचरं तमगोचरं गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। Hari Om. So far we have seen Tvampada Vichara, the inquiring into the individual. Panchakosha Viveka was the prakriya used, and through that we understood what we understand ourselves to be right now and what should we understand ourselves to be. So our present understanding about ourselves is that we are Panchakosha, but actually we are the self who is different, distinct from that Panchakosha. After explaining Tvampada, now we are into Tatpada Vichara. Now we are into the enquiry of the totality. So earlier also we saw that these three topics are very important and all our questions pertain to these three topics: Jiva, Jagat and Ishvara. Individual, the world and Supreme, Lord. Right? So about Jiva we have discussed. Now we have to discuss about Jagat and Ishvara. What is this world? What is its relationship with the Lord? Who is this Ishvara? Is that Ishvara actually part of the world, or is that Ishvara Brahman? That is what we are discussing right now. So the nature of Brahman was explained first, and then it was explained how this Brahman is actually the substratum, the cause of the world, and therefore world is nothing but Brahman, appearing as different names and forms. These names and forms are all superimposed on that Brahman. So Brahman alone is. The world, as names and forms, is not actually there. It is only wrongly imagined, superimposed on that Brahman. We had seen this. Now, Bhagavan Sri Shankaracharya ji explained to us that this which we understand by logic is also given by the Upanishad. Actually, because it is given by the Upanishad, we understand as logic. So, 231 verse we saw last time. Brahma eva idam vishvam iti eva shrauti vani brute. The vani, the speech, the voice of scriptures says what? brahmaeva idam vishwam. Brahman alone is this world. Which Vani, which Shruti? Atharvanishtha Varishtha. The great Atharva Veda has got Upanishad called Mundaka Upanishad, one of the major Upanishads. In that, this mantra comes, Brahmaevedam amrutam purastat, Brahma paschat, Brahma dakshinashchottarena, Adashchordvam cha prasratam, Brahmaeva idam vishwam, idam varishtham. So this Mundaka Upanishad says very clearly that Brahman alone is this entire world. Tasmad yadyadbhramataḥ hi vishwam, and therefore we must come to realize that this world is nothing but Brahman alone. Na adhishthanat bhinnata arūpitasya. Arūpitasya adhishthanat bhinnata nasti. That which is imagined cannot have a separate existence from the substratum. The superimposition, adhyastha, arūpita, cannot have separate existence than adhishthana, substratum. If you think that the superimposition has separate existence, then what will happen? Satyam yadi syat jagadetad. If we consider for the sake of argument that the world is separate, different from the self, means what? There are two realities. One is Atman or Brahman and another is world. If you say so, Atmanaha anantatva hanihi. Then number one, what will happen? Self will no longer be infinite. Why? Because now there is another reality which will make the self finite. Nigama apramanata. The Shruti, the Vedas will lose their validity. Why? Because Vedas are telling Brahman or Atman is infinite. Now if it is not infinite, then they will lose its validity. Asatyavaditvam api ishituhu syat. And third thing which will happen is the Lord will become liar. Why? Because Bhagavan Shri Krishna, the Lord, says in Bhagavad Gita what Brahman alone is. There is no world. If at all you see the world, it is only imagined on Brahman. It does not create any change in Brahman. And these three things, considering the self or the Brahman to be finite, considering the scriptures to be invalid, and considering Bhagavan to be a liar, etatrayam mahatmanam sadhuhitam na. These three things are not acceptable by great people. They say this is not right. We cannot compromise on this. Right? Where Bhagavan has said, where in Bhagavad Gita Bhagavan has said, next verse says, Ishvaro vastu tattvajñah. Ishvara, the Lord, who is vastu tattvajña, knower of reality of things, evameva vyachiklupata, has proclaimed this. Iti evameva vyachiklupata. This he has proclaimed. What is that? Nachaham teshu avastitah nacha matsthani bhutani. So taking this as cue, we saw the entire section, actually, the four statements made by Bhagavan, which appear to be directly contradicting with each other. Isn't it? Remember 4th and 5th verse of 9th chapter, we saw Maya tatamidam sarvam jagadavhyaktamurtina matsthani sarvabhutani nachaham teshu avastitah nacha matsthani bhutani pashyame yogamaishwaram. See, Arjuna, my glory and my power. What is that? Number one, I pervade the entire world. I am in everything. Number two, they are all in me. Number three, I am not in them. Number four, they are not in me. Now these four statements appear to be contradictory, but they are not. Why? Because the standpoints are different. Standpoints are different. In one, when Bhagavan says that I am in them, what does he want to say? He wants to say, if you see the world, understand that I am the substratum of that entire world. If you are the substratum, then what is this world? Second statement, the world is a superimposition on me. World is in me. Now that you have understood that I am the substratum and world is superimposed, please don't think that I am part of the world. Nachaham teshu avasthitah. I am not in them. Means what? I am not one of it. I am not part of the world. I do not change when the world changes. I remain asanga, unattached. And then from his own standpoint, from the standpoint of Brahman, nachamatstani bhutani, there is no world. All four statements are absolutely true. Only we need to understand it in correct context. So when Bhagavan says, I am in everything, adhishthanataya as the substratum. Everything is in me, adhyastataya as superimposition. I am not in them means what? I am unattached. Changes in the world do not create any change in me. And the last statement, nachamatstani bhutani, they are not in me, means what? I alone am. For the rope, there is no snake. Clear? So in this way, Bhagavan Shri Krishna has explained. You see, and to come to that final statement, I alone am. See, he has built the first three statements. They are actually creating base for us to understand that final statement. The final statement is the absolute truth. But to understand that final statement, we have to slowly build our understanding. See, right now, we are seeing the world and the world is appearing to be real. Now, suppose you directly say there is no world, it will not be understood. So, slowly understand, if you see the world should have a cause. What can be the cause? The cause has to be the existence. Now, effect is actually nothing but cause only in different forms. Earlier we have seen pot is mud only, appearing as pot. So, world is that existence only, appearing as world. So, existence is the substratum. Then what is the world? The world is superimposed on it. What is this world? The names and forms, that's it. World is nothing but names and forms. So, on that existence, different forms are superimposed and we have given them different names. On that same rope, the snake which is superimposed now may have division. Tail of the snake, mouth of the snake, the mid region of the snake, the dotted portion of the snake, the tongue of the snake, poisonous, whatever. All these divisions are what? Imagined form and given name. So, the world that you see is not real. What is the reality in the world? The existence, the substratum is the reality. The names and forms are what? They are only superimposed. This existence is not changing even when the whole world is changing. Trees grow, fruits come, fruits fall. Next season, tree rejuvenates itself, new leaves etc. come. After many years, the tree also goes away. Another tree comes. All changes are happening in the world. No changes happening in the existence. Statement number 3. Now that you have understood all this, now understand the final truth. What? There is no world. Brahman alone is. We saw through Panchadashi Chitradeepa Prakarana also. Slowly we have to change our focus from that scenery to colors to thread to cotton. Why? Because cotton alone is. All other things are just imagination. Why? The moment you remove cotton from there, anything will remain? Nothing will remain. Nothing will remain. We go to watch movie and we watch movie on a big screen. And in the movie there are fight scenes and there are romantic scenes and there are emotional scenes and so many things are there. But the fact is, the screen alone is. All other things appearing on the screen are imaginary, are not real. See, many times we don't realize this. And then what? We start to cry when something is happening on the screen. You get angry when that villain is doing something to the hero. Isn't it? Why? Because we forget that whatever we are seeing is not real. And that is why great Mahatmas always say, you see, how you watch a movie, how you watch a drama, like that you should watch the world. Dekh tamasha. They used to say this whole thing is what? A drama is going on. Directed by the one and only director, the Lord. He's directed this drama is going on. You are part of the drama, no problem, but understand that it is drama and enjoy the drama. When your time comes for dialogue, say the dialogue. When your time comes to beat somebody, beat. When your time comes to get beaten up, get beaten up. But all the time smile. Why? Understand that all this is just drama. The reality is one, and that is me. All other things are imaginary. See what a liberating knowledge. It solves all the problems at once. Many problems, one solution. Final solution. You see, it loses capacity. The problem loses its power. Veji, this is exactly the methodology which Raman Maharshi used to tell. My child is not listening to me. Whose child? My child. Who are you? Gone. See, the power has lost its power. Its power. Problem has lost its power. You may say that my child is not listening to me and nowadays children are like this and next generation. At the base of all that is what? Our wrong understanding that I am individual. You remove that wrong understanding. And when I remove that I am wrong, I am individual, this understanding I remove on individual level, on the total level also you have to do that. That is what is going on. The world is actually Brahman alone. So the one who is troubling you, your child, who is that? Brahman alone. Who are you? Brahman alone. Who is that enemy of yours who has been, keeping a bad eye on you for many years? Who is that? Brahman alone. Who is that loving mother who takes care of you all the time? Brahman alone. Who is that unknown person that I have never met? Brahman alone. The objects that I like, objects that I don't like, objects that I don't know, everything is Brahman alone. Okay? Brahman alone is, world is not there. Now, even now also, if you say that the world is there and world is real, yadi satyam bhaved vishwam sushupta upalabhyatam, then it should be available in the deep sleep also. If it is real, then it should be there all the time. Yat na upalabhyate kinchit, but in your sleep, even a little bit of world is not there. Ataḥ asat. Therefore, it is unreal. Swapnavat mrisha, it is false. It is non-existent. It is like a dream. What? This waking also is just like a dream. This point also we have reflected upon many times. The world appears to be real, more real than the dream. That is because we are right now in that state. See, when we are in dream, the dream appears very much real. So too waking, when we are in the waking state, the waking world will appear real, but that doesn't mean it is real. Right? Ataḥ. what? Prithang nasti jagat paratmanaha. Therefore, this world is not different from the self. Prithak pratitistu mrisha. The separate appearance where I consider myself to be different from the world, this world is appearing differently, distinctly from me, is only false appearance. Guna ahivat. Like the snake appears separate from the rope. Arūpitasyasti kimarthavatta. That which is imagined, what meaning does it have? What purpose does it have? What value does it have? Adhisthānam abhāti tatha brahmena. It is actually the substratum alone which is appearing as that imagined object. It is the rope alone which is appearing as snake. The snake by itself has no value, no meaning. So the example of dream, now the example of rope and snake. Now he takes the third example also. Let us read verse number 236. Bhrāntasya yadyadbhramataḥ pratītaṃ.
Bhrāntasya yadyadbhramataḥ pratītaṃ.
Brahmaiva tattadrajataṃ hi śuktiḥ.
Brahmaiva tattadrajataṃ hi śuktiḥ.
idaṃtayā brahma sadaiva rūpyate.
Idaṃtayā brahma sadaiva rūpyate.
tvāropitaṃ brahmaṇi nāmamātram.
Tvāropitaṃ brahmaṇi nāmamātram.
bhrāntasya yadyadbhramataḥ pratītaṃ. brahmaiva tattadrajataṃ hi śuktiḥ. idaṃtayā brahma sadaiva rūpyate. tvāropitaṃ brahmaṇi nāmamātram. Bhrāntasya, for the deluded person, yadyadbhramataḥ pratītaṃ. Yadyad, whatever, pratītaṃ. Pratītaṃ appears, whatever appears, bhrāmataḥ, due to delusion. For the deluded person, whatever appears because of delusion, brahmaeva tattad. All that is actually Brahman alone. Like what? Rajatam hi śuktiḥ. Shuktika rajatam yatha. The example is what? Rajata. Rajata means silver. Śuktiḥ. Śuktiḥ means that shell. Mother of pearl also is sometimes it is called. The example is what? Earlier also we have seen that there is on the seashore there is a pearl. Mother of pearl. The shell. The shell. That shell shines like silver. So it's actually shell. It is having no value, but it looks like silver. Now the silver that you are seeing is actually what? Is actually that shell. Silver has value, shell has no value. Sometimes you must have seen, no, it on the seashore, etc., because of the sun, it shines and it looks like a dollar, it looks like a money, coin. When you go near and try to pick up, then you understand this is not money. In the same way, that shell appears to be silver, but that silver which is created by delusion is actually shell alone. In the same way, yadyad pratītaṃ, whatever is appearing for the deluded person out of delusion is actually Brahman alone. Idaṃtayā brahma sadaiva rūpyate. Idaṃtayā, idam means this. Idaṃtayā means like this. We say, no, this watch, this glass, this TV, this light, this room. Whatever we experience as this, it is actually Brahman alone which is being experienced. To arūpitaṃ, but that form which is imagined, brahmaṇi, on Brahman, nāmamātram, it is only namesake. The imagined object is only namesake. Brahman alone is real. See what an amazing thing. What? We have lived births after births thinking that I am the body and the world is real. All the time actually experiencing nothing other than Brahman. And now as seekers also, we are thinking, when will I realize that Brahman? When will I realize that Brahman? When will that Chitta Shuddhi happen? When will that knowledge take place? Oh my dear, even at this moment, every experience of yours, what are you experiencing? Brahman alone. Why? Because there is nothing else you can experience other than Brahman. Why? Because there is nothing other than Brahman. See what a beauty. That which we experience all the time, we have no knowledge of it. We don't know it is Brahman. Very famous anecdote Swami Shivanandaji Maharaj, Pujya Gurudev used to tell. One beggar outside the temple, he used to always beg. And we all have seen in India, outside the temple there will be row of beggars. So many beggars on both sides of the street, they are sitting. And their place, etc. is fixed. Every day they come there and sit there, begging. So this beggar's place was also fixed. It was an old kind of trunk. On top of that trunk, he used to sit and he used to beg. Every day he used to beg. One day, he met a person who says that, I know you. I know you. I have seen you somewhere. Beggar says, you must have seen me because I am here only all the time. He says, no. What is your name? Beggar said, this is new. Nobody asks name to the beggar. Have you ever asked beggar, what is your name? No. So he told name. He said, are you son of this person? He said, now this is getting little freaky. Why? Nobody asks about my father. It doesn't even matter for anybody. But yes, you are right, I am his son. He says, your father was my friend. And he also used to beg towards the end of his life, yes, right? He says, yeah, at the same place. At the same place he used to beg. That's where I was born, and from there onwards till now, I am here only for last 20-25 years. He says, what are you doing? This is the exact trunk where your father has kept all his money. He said, what? He said, yes, open it. The fellow was sitting there for 20 years without opening the trunk. He opened the trunk and found that there is so much of gold and so much of money kept by his father. See, laughable, isn't it? Sitting on top of so much of money, the fellow is begging for 1 rupee, 2 rupees. Who is that beggar? That is all of us. Why? All the time we are of the nature of bliss. We are Brahman. Everything that we are experiencing is Brahman. And though experiencing Brahman alone, we don't know it, and therefore we keep begging. We keep saying, I want to be happy. I want to realize Brahman. I want to know the truth. My dear, what else do you know? Swami Vivekananda, as Narendra, went on asking everybody, have you seen God? Have you seen God? Have you seen God? And many people, not ready to commit. How can we say that we have seen God? Finally, he went to Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, and Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says, yes, not only I have seen God, I can show it to you also. I see God more clearly than I see you. Look at that conviction. Why? Because God alone is everywhere. What else are we seeing? Other than God, what other thing are we seeing? Nothing else. Why? Brahman alone is appearing as this idam, this entire world. You are touching anything, you are touching Brahman. You are tasting anything, you are tasting Brahman. Brahmarpanam, Brahmavi, Brahmagnau, Brahmanautam, brahmaiva tena gantavyam brahma karma samadhina. We chant this verse again from Bhagavad Gita generally before eating. What does it say? Everything is Brahman. Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihi. What you are offering, into what you are offering, by the instrument with which you are offering, for whom you are offering, where you want to go, who is offering, everything is Brahman. Everything is Brahman. The only thing is that we need to recognize it. Idaṃtayā brahma sadaiva rūpyate. Tvāropitaṃ brahmani nāmamātram. All these differences, because of different forms, are only imagined. They are namesake. Brahman alone is. Therefore, in India, in Indian culture, anybody comes, we greet with namaste. Why? We don't say you are different from me. You are Brahman, I am Brahman. I, you, we both are one. Namaste. Salutations unto you. Why? Because you are also that same Brahman. In Indian culture, we have habit of prostrating to even younger children. Why? Not because of age or anything, but because the Brahman is same. The same Lord expresses through everything. Brahman alone is. This we need to practice. Any time, any difficult situation comes, any tough situation comes, anybody is trying to create some kind of conflict in our mind, we are getting angry, we are getting tempted, we are getting jealous, all that time just remember, Brahman alone is. No, Vedji, but my wife is so irritating. Brahman alone is. No, but wife is only imagination. Brahman is the reality. No, but what do you mean? She will do anything and I will sit quiet? No. You do whatever you have to do, but remain as Brahman. See that oneness. Eknath Maharaj was a great saint of Maharashtra, from Maharashtra, and he was a great scholar also, and he was well known in the entire village, and they used to say that he is such a stable person. I might have told this story before. So one day one person from the village took a bet that I will make sure that Eknath Maharaj becomes angry. And he said, let us see how he will not become angry. So what did he do? He waited for Eknath Maharaj when he was taking bath from the river and came out. He spat on him. Eknath Maharaj quietly turned, went again into the river, took bath and came out. Again he spat. Again Eknath Maharaj went. They say it happened for 100 times. Now the person who was spitting started feeling bad. What am I doing? Why? Just for a bet, I am spitting on a Mahatma. See, he is not even getting angry. So when he came, he fell at his feet and said, sorry. You are a great saint and I made a mistake. I had this bet because of which I did this. Please forgive me. I am a sinner. He says, why are you asking for forgiveness? I should thank you. But I spat at you. He said, yes, but because of you, I got 100 holy baths of this holy river. Just look at it. The feeling of difference is not there at all. Gurudev always used to say, when one finger by mistake goes into our own eye, we don't say that, oh finger, you have made a mistake and you should be cut. He used to dramatize by saying that remaining 4 fingers form a committee and go to the eye and say, sorry, we didn't mean. Why? Because the finger is me, the eye is also me. If I have this feeling within my body, imagine the Mahatmas having that feeling in the entire world. And that is why even animals forget about their violent nature in the presence of such Mahatmas. We have heard so many stories, we have seen so many such people. The tiger, etc., becomes very calm and sits next to the Mahatma. Not only the tiger doesn't do anything to the Mahatma, tiger doesn't do anything to the deer sitting right next. All of them, because of the presence of this jnani who has this feeling of oneness, all of them feel that oneness. That is the power. So we have to give up this vision of duality, vision of differences. I am different from you. I am from different state, speaking different language, from different nationality, different gender, different caste. We have to drop all these kinds of differences and we have to see that oneness. And that oneness is possible only if we understand that I am Brahman and everything is Brahman, Brahman alone is. Otherwise, there will remain some kind of duality, some kind of difference. You see, as our understanding of ourself grows, we start to include more and more people. If I feel that I am only me, that is what matters, then what? I will not give anything to my brother also. Why? Mine. Now the moment that concept of I little grows and I feel that I am family. So everybody in my family is me, is extension of me. Then I am ready to sacrifice my sorrow, my joy, my comfort for the family, but not for other family. Then that I feeling grows further and I feel that I am this society, I am this community. Then what? Then I start to feel everybody in my community as me. When it still grows and I feel that I am Indian and every Indian is my brother and sister, it is extension of me. But still it is not complete. I may say I am a world citizen, but it still applies only for a human being. What about the other animals? What about the inert objects? Only when I realize that I am Brahman and everything is Brahman, I realize that there is no second, there is no difference. At that point, raga, dvesha, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya, all of these just fall off. Likes and dislikes towards what if I alone am there? Desire for what? Anger towards what? Greed for what? Pride from what? Delusion of what? Jealousy of what? Nothing exists. Brahman alone exists. This I need to realize. Now, again, the nature of that Brahman is explained, or rather emphasized, not explained, because the nature of Brahman cannot be explained. It is just brought to our attention again in next 4 verses. Remember this tatpada vichara, we had started with the nature of Brahman, satyam jnanam anantam brahma, right? So we had started with that, then we had understood the relationship between Brahman and world. Gurudev used to call this as relationless relationship. Relationless relationship. Why? Because there is actually no relation. Why? Because the world is not there. Relation can be there between two real things. There is only one reality and that is Brahman. So the other reality that we feel to be there but is not actually there is only imagination, not actual reality. And therefore there is actually no relation. And that relationless relationship we have understood between Brahman and the world. Now we again come back and Shankaracharya concludes this topic by mentioning, by enumerating the nature of Brahman in next 4 verses. Let us see one by one. Verse number 237. Ataḥ paraṃ brahma sadadvitīyaṃ viśuddhavijñānaghanaṃ niranjanam
viśuddhavijñānaghanaṃ niranjanam
praśāntamādyantavihīnamakriyaṃ
prāśāntamādyantavihīnamakriyaṃ
nirantarānandarasasvarūpam
nirantarānandarasasvarūpam
ataḥ paraṃ brahma sadadvitīyaṃ viśuddhavijñānaghanaṃ niranjanam prāśāntamādyantavihīnamakriyaṃ nirantarānandarasasvarūpam. Ataḥ, therefore, after understanding all these things, after understanding that Brahman alone is this Param Brahma, this Supreme Brahman, Sat is existence. Advitiyam, non-dual. Viśuddhavijñānaghanaṃ, a mass of pure knowledge, pure consciousness. Vishuddha, pure. Visheshena Shuddha, absolutely pure, extremely pure. Vijnana, consciousness. Ghana, mass. It alone is. Viśuddhavijñānaghanaṃ, niranjanam, without any anjana, without any taint, without any impurity. Praśāntam, extremely peaceful. Adi anta vihinam, devoid of beginning and end. Akriyam, actionless. Nirantara anandarasasvarūpam, always of the nature of that absolute bliss. This is what is Brahman. This is my true nature. Now, please note, these words which are pointing towards Brahman, their primary meaning is Brahman. Secondary meaning is whatever that word has got meaning. Example, you see, advitiyam. The word advitiya means non-dual, but advitiya primary meaning is Brahman. What is param? Param is Brahman. What is sat? Sat is Brahman. What is advitiya? Advitiya is Brahman. What is viśuddhavijñānaghana? It is Brahman. So all these are different words. They appear to be different, but they have essentially same meaning, and that is Brahman. Their word meaning, literal meaning may be little different, but essential primary meaning is Brahman. Okay? And that Brahman is me. And therefore, whose explanation is going on? The scripture is describing me. I am that Supreme Brahman. I am that Sat, existence which never ceases to be. I am that Advitiya, non-dual. I am Viśuddhavijñānaghana, mass of pure consciousness. Niranjanam, without any taint. Praśāntam, absolutely calm, peaceful. Adi anta vihinam, without any beginning, without any end. Nirantarānandarasasvarūpam. I am always of the nature of that infinite, absolute bliss. Akriyam, actionless. That is what I am. So all of them, all these are different words, but they are primarily pointing towards Brahman. Individually, each word will have different meaning, but all of it is to point out towards Brahman. Now, this is what actually is called as sajatiya vritti pravaha. Remember what is sajatiya vritti pravaha? Nididhyasana is meditation. Practice of meditation is what? Sajatiya vritti pravaha. The flow of thoughts of similar nature. Now, these are different words which actually mean the same, which actually imply the same. And therefore, bringing these words to mind, you may say that there are different words and therefore there are different thoughts. But all those thoughts are sajatiya, having one common thread. And what is that? All of them are going towards Brahman. Actually, every single word in the whole world is Brahman, is pointing towards Brahman. Every single word. Flower is Brahman. Not only that object flower is Brahman, even the word flower is pointing towards Brahman alone. Why? Because there is nothing other than Brahman. It is said about Swami Taponji Maharaj, Pujya Gurudev's guru, that when he used to go for yatra, walking in Kailash, etc., or in Tapovanam, etc., different places, when he used to go, he used to suddenly stop and keep looking at something. And there will be some students walking with him, they will not understand what is our guru looking at. Sometimes he will be looking at some tree, sometimes at the cloud, sometimes at a flower, sometimes at a dog, sometimes at a stone. Why? Because everything he used to remember only Brahman, Ishvara, Lord, 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 Lord. So anything that he sees, anything that he says, anything that he hears, it used to turn his attention towards that Brahman. That's why the book that he has written is called Ishvara Darshana. Because there is only Ishvara Darshana happening everywhere. Different kinds of words all mean Brahman. All mean Brahman. So too these words. Okay. Now what? More verses. Let us see next one. Verse 238. nirastamāyākṛtasarvabhedaṃ nityaṃ sukhaṃ niṣkalamaprameyam arūpamavyaktamanākhyamavyayaṃ jyotiḥ svayaṃ kinchididam chakasti nirastamāyākṛtasarvabhedaṃ nityaṃ sukhaṃ niṣkalamaprameyam arūpamavyaktamanākhyamavyayaṃ jyotiḥ svayaṃ kinchididam chakasti. Nirastamāyākṛtasarvabhedaṃ. What is that Brahman? Nirasta, which is bereft of. Sarvabhedam, all distinctions. Bheda, differences, distinctions. Māyākrita, created by Maya. Bereft of, devoid of, without all the distinctions created by Maya. Why? Because Maya is not there in that Brahman. It is beyond Maya, and therefore all kinds of differences that Maya creates are not there in that Brahman. Therefore, poetically sometimes it is said, in that Brahman all distinctions have become one. Everything has become one. Why? Because there is no difference now anymore. As long as I am in Maya, I will keep seeing the difference. In that Brahman, there are no distinctions. Why? All distinctions created by Maya have ceased. Nityam sukham. It is always blissful. Or you can say nityam separately. Nityam means eternal. Sukham means bliss. In some pathas, nityam dhruvam also is there instead of sukham. That's also fine. Dhruva means unmoving, non-changing, unchanging. Right? It is that. Niṣkalam. Kala means part. Niṣkalam, without any part, partless. It is not divided. One homogeneous mass. Aprameyam, immeasurable. Can't even imagine that much. Arūpam, formless. Avyaktam, unmanifest. Anakhyam, nameless. See, arūpam, avyaktam, anakhyam. Because it is formless, it can appear in any form. Because it is avyakta, it can become vyakta at any time. Because it is nameless, it can take any name. Arūpam, nirguna, nirakara. And therefore, sakara is what? That nirguna nirakara only appearing as a form. See, in Ganeshotsav, some time back got over, isn't it? In Ganeshotsav, what happens? In Maharashtra, etc., it is celebrated in much, bigger way. 10 days festival is there. On the first day, we bring a murti of Ganesha. And then what? Then we worship it. And then on the 10th day or the 11th day, in some houses, second day itself or 5th day or 7th day, depending on the tradition of that house. But finally on Anant Chaturdashi, on the 10th day, what do? We do Visarjana of that murti. Why? To remind us that the form is taken by the formless. So that form merges into the water, becoming the formless. Some videos you might have seen of small children not allowing the Ganesha to go and crying. As small children, that is fine. But as elders, it is a festival. Why? Because the one with form is now going back to become formless. That realization of Saguna Sakara being Nirguna Nirakara alone is a festival. Many times people ask this question, why are you celebrating so much that Ganesha Bhagwan is going? See, that's the beauty. I don't know in other parts of India, but in Maharashtra, especially in rural India, even the final rites, the last rites when they take the dead body, it is a utsava. They bring dhol tasha and they play, all the villagers. Now some people they say, what is this? They are not having sorrow. No, they are understanding that now the one who had taken that body is now becoming one. Parampara of great saints. In one Abhanga it is said, when the Yamaraja comes to eat the body, Kala dehasi ala khau, Ami anande nachu gau. He says, when the Lord Yamaraja is coming to eat the body, to take the body away, what am I doing? I am enjoying, I am dancing, I am singing in bliss. Why? Let it come, let it go, how does it matter? All the accompaniments, it says, it goes on. Tala mridanga, dakshine kade, maze gane paschime kade. All the accompaniments of the song, means what? The body, all the relatives, etc. All of them are looking towards south. Yamaraja, the direction is south. But where is my song? Where is my dance going on? Towards the west. Why? Because west is the direction of mukti. I am looking towards that. So I don't care. So body, when it falls, it is also utsava. Why? Because we know that we are not the body. This form that the body has got is actually the formless. To remind us this, we bring Ganesha and we do Visarjana also of that Ganesha. That's the festival. That formless, we take it in a form, worship for 10 days and then again merge him back into formless. And then we say, oh Lord Ganesha, please come soon next year. We love you, we like you, but we also know that you are always there. See, arūpam avyaktam anakhyam. It is formless, it is unmanifest, it is nameless, and therefore it can take any form, it can become manifest at any time, it can take any name. Avyayam, but all the while, when that formless is becoming with form, when the unmanifest is becoming manifested, when that nameless is taking name, all the time it is avyaya, without any change. Actually, no change is happening in that Supreme Lord, in that Brahman. Svayaṃ jyotiḥ, it is self-luminous. Kinchit idam chakasti. Kinchit means anything. Chakasti means shines. Anything that shines as idam is actually that Brahman alone. Anything that shines as idam means what? This is shining as watch, this iPad, this TV, this light. Anything that is shining as this is that Brahman alone. Right? Brahman alone. Continues. 2 more verses. Verse number 239. Jnātridneyajñānashunyam anantam nirvikalpakam kevalakhandachinmatram paraṃ tattvam vidurbudhāh. Jnātridneyajñānashunyam anantam nirvikalpakam kevalakhandachinmatram paraṃ tattvam vidurbudhāh. Jnātridneyajñānashunyam, without any distinction of jnātru, knower, jneya, object of knowledge, jnana, connection between the two, knowledge. No distinction of I am there, the knower, there is object of knowledge, and I am knowing the object of knowledge through knowledge. No. Everything is Brahman. The knower is also Brahman, the subject, the object of knowledge, object is also Brahman, and the knowledge, the connection is also Brahman. Anantam, it is infinite. Truly infinite. Everything else is relatively infinite. This is truly infinite. Nirvikalpakam, without any vikalpa, without any modification, without any change. Kevala akhanda chitmatram. Kevala means that which is having no limitation. Desha, kala, vastu, aparichinna. That is called as keval. Akhanda, indivisible. Chit, consciousness, matram, alone. Indivisible essence of consciousness alone. One single consciousness alone. Indivisible. Paraṃ tattvam, it is the supreme-most reality. Buddhaha viduhu, which the wise Buddhaha viduhu, they come to realize. The wise come to realize this supreme Brahman of this nature as their own self. That is what they come to realize. One more verse. And Shankaracharya concludes. Let us see verse number 240. Aheyamanupadeyam mano vācāmagocaram aprameyamanādyantam brahma purnamaham mahah. Aheyamanupadeyam mano vācāmagocaram aprameyamanādyantam brahma purnamaham mahah. Aheyam, it is something which cannot be given up. Anupadeyam, something that cannot be taken up. Remember? The essential quality of Satchidananda, that is what we had seen, is aheya anupadeya, which cannot be given up, which cannot be taken up. It is our essential nature. Manovacham agocharam, not perceived by manas, mind, and vacha, speech. Means what? The words cannot explain it. The mind cannot comprehend it. All the words that we have been seeing in last 3 verses and in this verse also are only pointing towards Brahman. That's why I said they are pointing towards Brahman. We are not saying that they are explaining Brahman, describing Brahman. No. Why? Brahman cannot be explained in words. Brahman cannot be described. They are only pointers, pointing towards that Brahman. Have the pointers reached the pointed? No. But the pointers are pointing so that the pointed can be reached. The pointers will never reach the pointed. The words, the speech, the mind, they are only pointing towards it. They cannot reach that Brahman. Brahman is beyond all that. So actually speaking, none of these words are explaining Brahman. But all the words are pointing towards Brahman alone. That's the beauty. None of them can describe Brahman because Brahman cannot be described in words. Manovacham agocharam. Agochara means where the mind doesn't reach. Very famous line from Taittiriya Upanishad. Yato vacho nivartante aprāpya manasa saha. From where vacha, the speech returns. Aprāpya, not having gained it. Manasa saha, along with mind. So the mind and speech have gone on a journey to reach the Brahman. They return without gaining Brahman. Why? Brahman cannot be gained by speech or mind. Brahman cannot be explained or described in words, nor can it be understood by mind. It's impossible. Manovacham agocharam. Why? Aprameyam. It is not a prameya. It's not an object of knowledge at all. It is immeasurable. Anadiyantam. Na adi na antam. It is having neither the beginning nor the end. How will you know it? How will you explain it? How will you understand it? Brahma Purnam. Brahman is everything. We chant the Shanti mantra at the end, isn't it? Purnamadaha, Purnamidam, Purnat Purnamudachyate, Purnasya Purnamadaya, Purnameva Vashishyate. That Purna is Brahman. See, that mantra is also so beautiful. In Ishavasya Upanishad also that mantra comes because it is the Shanti mantra for that Upanishad also. Brahma, what is that? Purnamadaha. That is Purna. What is that? That is Brahman. Brahman is Purna. Purnamidam. This world is also Purna. Why? Because it is essentially Brahman only. So Purnamadaha, Purnamidam. Purnat Purnamudachyate. From that Purna, this Purna has come about. Means what? Imagined. Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. From that Purna, Brahman, if you remove the word Purna, Brahman Purna will remain. From infinity, you remove infinity, infinity remains. Infinity minus infinity is not zero, not even in mathematics. Infinity minus infinity is infinity. Why? Because this infinity is not actual infinity. It is imagined infinity. The world is imagined infinity on that actual infinite Brahman. It appears to have come from that infinite Brahman. It appears to be staying in that infinite Brahman. And even when this so-called apparent infinity of the world is gone, the actual infinity Brahman will remain infinite. Brahma Purnam. And sorry. that Purna Brahma, Aham. You see, that is what I am. That is what is astounding truth. That this Brahman is me. Maha, it is the most supreme, glorious, Mahan, that is me. Okay, with this enlightening knowledge, this topic comes to an end. What all things have come to an end? First is Tatpada Vichara that started, just some time back it started, that got over here. Then the question Tayor Vivekah Katham, which started in 144, if I am not wrong, concludes here with 240. First, 144 onwards, first the Panchakosha Viveka Tvam-pada Vichara, and then 226 to 240, Tat-pada Vichara. Not only that, go back to the verse second, verse number 2. What is verse number 2? Wait. I will remember. Let me. What is the first verse? What is the first verse? Too many things we have studied, we are not understanding what is the first verse. Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tama Gocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmiham. Second verse. Jantunam Narajanma Durlabhamatāḥ Pumstvam Tato Viprata Tasmat Vaidika Dharma Marga Parata Vidvatvamasmat Param Atma Anatma Vivechanam Swanubhavo Brahmatmana Samstitihi Muktirno Shatajanma Koti Sukritaihi Punyirvina Labhyate. We saw that this verse talks of 9 topics which are covered in the entire text. Within those topics, the first 4 topics were covered from verse 3 to verse 67, where the 49th verse also raised 7 questions. All those 7 questions are answered. We have completed that with this verse. The answer is complete. Ko nama bandha katamesha agataha katam pratisthasya katam vimoksha ko savanatma paramakatma tayor vivekah katam. While explaining the answers to these 7 questions, step number 5 and 6 were explained. Verses 68 to this verse 240 covers the answers to 7 questions. And with that, we complete 2 more steps, step number 5 and 6, Vidvatvam and Atma Anatma Vivechanam. Vidvatvam Shravana, Atma Anatma Vivechanam Manana. Clear? The main topic, Atma Anatma Vivekachoodamani, okay, that also we have covered. Now we go to step 7. Swanubhavaha. Swanubhavaha, Suanubhavaha. Experience, well experience, clear direct experience. So meditation, nididhyasana is what is the step now. But before we go to the nididhyasana step, some more points of manana have to be clarified. It was not asked by the student, so they don't come under the answers, but it is necessary for us to do that. Why? Because without doing manana on that topic, nididhyasana is not possible. So now from next verse 241, actually till 266 is this step of Swanubhavaha, where the practice of meditation, verses for meditation, all of that will come. Okay, but within that topic, the immediate next topic is 241 to 249, next 9 verses, taking us through what is called as Mahavakya Vichara. See, we have just understood Tvam-pada and Tat-pada just now, isn't it? And we said that is coming from that Tattvamasi Mahavakya. Now that Mahavakya is now inquired into, how to understand that oneness. That is what is now taken, 9 verses. Then we enter into the nididhyasana stage. Okay, very beautiful portion of Vivekachoodamani is about to begin. Okay, Mahavakya Vichara also is very beautiful, and then the verses of meditation also. Very, very beautiful portion we will see in the coming classes. Okay. Chalo. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.